All right, so let's go here. How many of you watch Love and Marriage? Anybody started watching with me yet? We're watching the season, and I'll be doing recaps here as we go along the season. Okay, so there's some interesting scenes
Hand off your.
in this last episode. So make sure you're catching on Saturday night so that we can review together. There's lots of lessons in that I feel like we should be covering. Okay, let me see here. Let me just make sure I pause so that we don't get slapped with yes, Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Alabama. How many of you watch it? You don't do prenup in UK? That's weird. What do you do? There's something you do. Is it a trust? There's some kind of legal structure you can use to protect yourself from yourself, from your romantic, hopeless romantic self, right? There's got to be something, right? So how many people are up to speed yet? Did you start watching Love and Marriage? I'm gonna be very quick on this one, this episode here. Let's see here. Let's turn this on. There you go. Skip that. Let's turn that on. I'm gonna pause that. All right, good. So Love and Marriage, you're back to it. Love and Marriage is it's basically a bunch of couples. It's about love and marriage, but there's this main couple there, Melody and Mattel. They ended up in divorce. There's been at least 2 divorces, and it's called Love and Marriage. So, and it's a reflection of our real world. The real world. The cornerstone of our society is the family structure, and unfortunately, the family structure is in the mud today. Majority of people are pointing fingers at each other, thinking that's the right way to rebuild it. I beg to differ. Gentlemen, especially, we have work to do. We have to hold ourselves accountable, not because it's your fault. It just means you're a leader, okay? Saying, what can I do? What can I do to understand what's going on better so that we can create different results, right? Because our women, our children, the status of our women, our children is a function of the status of the men. Okay, so if it seems like the devil or the evil or whatever you want, the enemy, whatever your enemy is if it seems like it's attacking your women, that's because they're trying to get to you. Okay, that's because they're trying to get to you. Okay, they know you'll be distracted from self accountability. They know your enemy knows that you will particularly attempt as a normal human being to point fingers at everything else but self. Okay, and you will find every ways to justify it. In life, the best direction to growth is self. That's all you can control. I know it sounds kumbaya, sounds like you're beating yourself up. No, I think you should assume your soft life. I think you're beating yourself up precisely by actively always trying to hold other people accountable, and you're about to relax. It's not that hard. Relax. Stop assuming that other people's bad behavior is about you. It's about them. But that can be true. In the same breath, you can try to understand, since you care so much, try to understand what's going on and make sure you're paying more attention to that from your point of view. Okay. So, wow, that's horrible that there's no prenup in UK. There's got to be something you can use to protect yourself from yourself. Okay. I'm sure there is. So huge prenup fan. I don't chop financial breakfast before. So huge prenup fan. I understand. MOP will say, I am talking about place of pain, and it will be right. No, we're all speaking from a place of pain. I can only talk about this stuff because I've been there, done that. Painful. Prenup is not legally binding in the UK. The law here is still very much about marital assets, and majority of the time you will live with 50% of merit, which is not fair, according to Cynthia. I only catch some reviews on YouTube with, okay, all right, good. That's good enough. Trust me, the way I do my review here, you will still catch the lessons. Even if you have a property before you met your spouse, they will divide that up too. Yeah, that's aspect of me feel like that's unfair. But remember what I said about fairness, right? You have to pay attention to the context of the land you live in. It is what it is. You benefit from it too. It will hurt you when you end up on the other side of it too. That's just life. Ola, will you cover the family dynamics of the Scott sisters from Escape? That would be interesting. I think I should, right? I've seen some of that. That's some weird stuff going on between them, right? There's no way to protect premarital assets. That is cray. Yeah, I think if you can't protect it, I think it's still fair. In love and war, all is fair. That's a mindset. It helps you protect yourself from yourself, ultimately, instead of fighting yourself. I saw a story about this basketballer that called off his wedding because the bride waited last minute and was crying about the prenup, saying she would sign it. Yeah, they won't even, if it's too close to the day of wedding, they will throw it out in court because it can claim that it was signed under duress. That makes sense, right? Yeah. Emotions no be anybody's mate, and even the courts know this. Okay. All right. Yes, if somebody is crying about prenup and you have significant assets, maybe you should hold off for a while. So let's go back to talking about, this is Melody right here. This was the last episode we covered, right? Where friendship was involved. Okay. All right. So they continued to talk about the friendship. It was pretty obvious here that Melody only cares about her mental health, and that's it. And if she deems that this friendship is tampering with her mental health, she is that coconut head. She'll be more concerned about self. Okay. So there's a very important part of this scene this week about their marriage that came up. Okay, that I felt like we should talk about. Let's see. That was the party reunion. All right. So this part right here, Mattel, at the end of this party that they were on the last episode, Mattel engaged his ex-wife and insisted that he wanted to walk her out. Okay. He said, walk to your car, then my car is in the front. She was basically saying she didn't want him to walk out to the car. And he insisted. He said, no, let me walk you to the car. You're the mother of my kids, like you're mother of my 4 kids, which I agree, right? But there's more to it, right? There's more to it. First of all, this is Love and Marriage Huntsville on the OWN network. You shouldn't be asking so much permission. If this is the mother of your first kids, you should continue in the conversation, and then as you're talking, you're walking her to the car. Asking to walk her to the car is borderline manipulation as usual. I know, why is everything gotta be manipulation? Well, it's not me that call it manipulation. It will feel like manipulation. Remember, Chinye is ahead of me. Remember, it's not about what you call it. Remember, it's not about calling yourself a monster-in-law. It's about what it feels like on the other end. It's about there's another human being involved, right? That's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's mastering your own emotions, and then mastering other people's emotions, and then mastering the emotions of the society at large, because you don't live in a cave. You're a social human being. Okay? So more than likely it will be received as manipulative because you clearly lack the confidence that you're unsure that you're like, it's weird, but you're unsure that this is the mother of your 4 kids. Like you're trying to prove to yourself every chance you get that you're the mother of the 4 kids. You don't. This is the reality. Why are you still confused about that, right? Okay. There's nothing wrong. Then you engage in a conversation that's now becoming borderline toxic. Nah, don't walk me to your car. No. Because why? Because she knows that every conversation, according to her, every conversation will turn to some kind of argument, right? So he's insisting that he wants to walk her to the car, and she's already looking some type of funny and like, no, why you have to walk me to the car? And she was saying bye to everybody in the party. Cynthia, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you for stopping by today and being a good sport. Thank you. All right. So, yeah. So it's you have to, gentlemen, you have to be sure of yourself in every respect. If you're not sure of yourself, you're going to keep coming off as manipulative. And the funny part about this is that you're doing it because you don't realize that you're being manipulative. And it's worse because you're actually ignorant about what you're doing, which is why I'm covering this, right? You're being received as manipulative. Every time you're asking for permission, you're being received as, if you tend to ask for permission directly or indirectly, if you tend to ask for permissions, or you're begging people, or you're coming off as complaining, not agreeing that you complain, you're coming off as you're complaining. Okay? It's anti-seductive. What are the anti-seducers? Let's find it. Which one of this is the anti-seducers we're dealing with here? Anybody want to try? Shout out to all the 16 people watching. Shout out to you. Anybody want to try? Which one here is the anti-seducer we're dealing with here? When you're not sure of yourself. And that's kind of a turn-off. Right? We have brute, no patience. I guess. 2, suffocator, neediness. Yes, that can fit in there real quickly. Moralizer, police, no. I'll just leave that alone. Tight word, cheap, no. Bumbler, weird, self-conscious. I think this might fit in there somewhere. Number 2, right? Suffocator, neediness. Yes. Since you agree with me, I'll just say yes for that, right? Number 6, windbag, talkative. Yes, that can fit in there too. Because again, if you're not sure of yourself, you have a need to talk all the time. You just need to talk. You need to prove yourself, essentially. You're looking for validation directly and indirectly. Okay. 7, reactor triggered, no. 8, Vulgarian, no self-control. Yeah, 8 can fit in there too. So we're looking at 2, 5, and 8 here. Those are the anti-seducers there. It's a turn off. But I'm not trying to seduce her. That's the mother of my child. Exactly, that's your problem. Exactly, that's your problem. You're confused because Mattel, his behavior actually shows that he would like his ex-wife back. But these are the issues right here. Okay. So he goes hugging everybody that she's trying to hug, and she's trying to leave. He's trying to do the same things. He's stalking. Please don't encourage him, because they were trying to say, people would try to empathize with you, kind of like what Cynthia and all the other ladies were doing with men in this main topic tonight. They're trying like, it makes sense, it's common sense. Why not, And I just, yeah, that's the mother of your kids. And what did she say? Please don't encourage. No, it's not even an encouragement, he says. Now they're arguing about walking her out to the car. People say argument, a little argument is, it's not a big deal. It's just a debate. I know. This is why you don't see it coming. Before you know it, you're busy holding a bunch of strangers accountable on the internet. Because your wife of 10 years left you, and you're now saying things like, she has always knew that she was going to leave me at 10 years because you didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming, right? These are the issues. Okay. So a part of me, like, okay, I'm contradicting myself. It's like, you say, don't look over your shoulder every second. And the same token, like, no, these are things you have to, this is more of an art than it's a science. It's not an exact science. You just have to pay attention to it, right? You need to be sure of yourself. You need to move like you're sure of yourself. People that are sure of themselves, they don't come off as complaining or begging people for desire or negotiating desire. They just don't, okay? But it also makes sense that a man who has gone through divorce, will naturally use common sense and think like, hey, I'm just trying to make sense. Why can't I walk you to the car? He will try to use that as opposed to paying attention to his abilities to seduce a human being. When you say seduction, is thinking sex only. Okay? He doesn't get it. Okay, so now she's like, I don't want you to walk me to my car. Come on, walk into the front door. I just want to make sure you're okay. That's all. But he knows he's lying. He knows that he's lying. Okay? He knows that he's lying. But he's convinced himself that he's not lying. So that makes things even much more complicated, right? Because after all, there are factual reasons why he should be able to walk his wife to the car. That's the mother of my 4 kids, his ex-wife. You see this conversation, it keeps going just about walking to the car. As opposed to, hey, so what's going on? I'm leaving. Oh, okay, no problem. But anyway, like the other, just keep talking. She'll probably eventually walk to the car, and then you can effectively walk out to the car without saying much about it, because there are real life conversations about your kids. You keep the conversation about the kids. Okay? All right? You need to showcase, if you really want her back like that, you need to showcase that you're good all by yourself. You need to showcase that you're self-contained, self-sustainable. You need to showcase all of that. I know it sounds complicated, but what else would you want to do? Like, just think about it. So he eventually walked out to the car, and then they showed him just looking over and just walking, right? Yeah. So there's more to the story. I'm going to come back to that in a second here. Let's pay some ads. All right, so let's keep going here. This scene, this ones are talking about the treatment. If you know this couple very well, you know that she's gained some weight because she's going through chemotherapy, and she went through chemotherapy. You can tell that she's gained some weight if you know the cast, right? So it's always when I'm watching them on the screen, it's always a point of appreciation, just to appreciate life, you know, and not be so serious about life, you know. Being too serious about life too is also very anti-seductive, just so you know. Everything is about numbers for you. That's anti-seductive for the most part. Okay? For the most part. So I'm just flying through that scene. Okay, so now Mattel ended up with a friend. Okay? A family friend. This was their family friend. Had a conversation with them. Right? Of course, the only conversation that Mattel is having, for the most part, is about their ex-wife. Okay, he's so effing annoying for doing that. He shouldn't even say anything after a whole second wife relationship with his girlfriend for 5 whole years. Yeah, but he cares. He cares. That's the mother of his kids. Have some empathy, Chinye. Come on. Come on. He said, Mattel cannot help himself. He makes me nauseous with his antics. Yeah, he doesn't see. That's what I'm talking about. He doesn't. There's a lot of men that don't see that they're doing this, and they come from a good place, a good man place. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm a good. They don't see that they're doing this. I know because I've been there. Okay. Let's keep going here. Let me go through this. Okay. So they're having this conversation, and he's talking about his ex-wife to this family friend. How many other days to be some communication? No, we don't communicate at all. So he's basically telling this couple that him and his ex-wife, they don't communicate at all. He's complaining. No, he's just speaking his mind. No, he's complaining. Complaining is a turn off. It's always a turn off. Almost damn near 100% of the time. It's a turn off. It makes people want to run away from you. It attracts the wrong type of people that you don't really like, ultimately, to you. Because some people will be attracted to you because you're complaining, they're empathizing with you. But in reality, it's because they're not sleeping in the same bed with you. If they end up sleeping in the same bed with you, they will run away too. Okay? Complaining. I told you, one of the first things that my mother told me was, Ola, don't talk too much. Don't talk too much. I can't forget it because it was the first time. It's not common sense. It was the first time I was like, that kind of makes sense. Yes, I have a urge. I want to speak my mind. I'm just trying to speak. I need to be heard. Right? She's trying to speak up. Right? there's a time and place for it, right? Maybe he felt safe with this couple. The key thing is just pay attention to it. That it's a turn off ultimately, especially if a few people around town are gonna take it back to her and say, what is she gonna say? She's gonna say you're walking around town talking about her. You've told everybody about how bad she is as a mother. Another thing that Mattel doesn't realize is that, I mean, well, I'm just trying to have our children taken care of properly. We can't have 20 people babysitting our kids. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Another thing that he doesn't realize, okay? Another thing that he doesn't realize is that she starts to feel like you're painting her as a bad mother. There's no mothers that want to be painted as a bad mother. Never mind that you're just speaking the truth, right? Everybody wants to speak the truth. Never mind that it's the truth, right? What she will focus on, what her mind will focus on is the idea that you mean to paint her badly. You're just evil. You're trying to paint her badly. This is one of the things that I keep saying. Somebody will be like, oh no, he's just that guy. He's just trying to make her look bad. No, he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know what he doesn't know. Like a lot of men in these streets. I'm not justifying them. I'm saying that to you for you. So you can have some empathy for where they come from, and then you can handle it accordingly. You need to be able to say, listen, I know that maybe I could do better, but I'm feeling like you're making me look like a bad mother. But I'm not trying to seduce her. I just want to tell her the truth. No, you are trying to seduce her because she's giving you woto. She's dragging you. Okay. What did Mattel do in the name of I'm trying to be right? What did he do? He filed a lawsuit against his ex-wife for custody because he said 20 people are babysitting the kids. Now, it's a little tricky. I don't think 20 people should be babysitting the kids, right? But is this some level of exaggeration there? Possibly. Does she have a lot of people around her, entourage type style? She took a quick trip to McDonald's. He came back on time, too early, and then he found out that the babies are running around, and it took her another 20 minutes to arrive. And then, why all the strangers babysitting my kids? Is that bad, good, or bad? Whatever you think it is, you are right.
Well, you're right.
Right. Whatever you think it is. If you think it's bad, you're right. If you think it's good, you're right. I don't think it's I think it's neither. Okay. I think it's a conversation. Babe, like, yeah, I don't know all these people. Why are they babysitting the kids? No, it's just for a few minutes. Okay, please. I just don't want to feel some type of way. I'd rather have a conversation. Yes, she keep repeating it. You have to keep saying it. It's kind of like your teenage boy. I'm not comparing her to a teenager, but your teenage boy, sometimes you have to tell them things over and over again because you love them. But this is the mother of my kids. I don't really love her like that. She's ex. You're going to have your best chances of having a quality life is to love her for the rest of your life. I know it sounds kumbaya. That's the reality. If you hate her, it will show in your behavior. You will shoot yourself on the legs. So what did he do? He filed a lawsuit against her for custody. And in the same breath, he's trying to get her back. In the same breath, he's saying we don't communicate at all. Can you see the confusion?
Not be juju be that.
Can you see the confusion yet? These are the issues. Okay. Filed a lawsuit against her because he claims that 20 people, too many people, are babysitting their kids. When you file a lawsuit to take a woman's children away from her and she's not a crackhead, she's not on drugs, and you expect her to react positively.
Not be juju be that.
Right? Are you stupid or stupid?
You think say they wise?
Right? Not only is there a almost no chance that you're going to win that case, you're wasting your resources because of your emotions, and it's going to get worse for you. And you're decreasing the chances ever. I told you he has a chance of getting her back because I think she likes him like that. She doesn't like him right now. That love hate thing, that emotionally passionate thing, she start tearing up. When a woman start tearing up when they're talking about you, there is some kind of passion there that you're not sure of yourself, so you're shooting yourself in the legs. Now this scene right here, this woman right here, she's always in trouble with her own family and all that kind of stuff. All the friendship, she considers every friendship toxic because she's needy as well. Okay, and nobody likes needy people. That's the way I see her, or that's the way she's portrayed. What's her name again? Keisha? I always forget her name. Timika? No. Somebody help me in the chat. Okay. I forgot her name. The name probably came up here somewhere. Anyway, that's her cousin. Her cousin had to take the higher road and say, hey, I don't like when we come around each other and everybody's walking on eggshells. She's trying to bring them together. Kudos to her. It's always a great thing to see a sister, a cousin who says this is bad, and they take the higher road and say, let's bring up. Some people say it's none of my business to bring them, because people do have coconut head. If anyone has coconut head in this show, is this young lady too. Anyway, so speaking of Melody, this is the highlight of this particular episode. Melody actually ended up talking to the wife, that couple, their family friend, talking to her, and then she shedded more light on what happened. She now remember we keep calling her a coconut head. It means stubborn. It means stubborn if you don't know what that means. Right? We end up, confusion and delusion at the same time. Yeah. So she ended up talking to the wife, and then at first she didn't want, but then she found out that, hey, this guy's been talking about me around town again. That's how she feels. It's the feelings that matters. The feelings that you have to deal with, not the reality, not the pragmatic reality of what it is tangibly that you can pinpoint, like, show me the evidence, not stuff. It's the feelings that you have to work with. You're not fighting flesh. Keep at the back of your mind. How would she want to come back to you? He's an idiot. Chinye is passionate about these people. Stormy, no, that's not Stormy. That's, what's her name? One of the main couple. Marcel's wife. He needs to seek help. It will push her further away from him. Fact. So now she's talking. Thank you. I hate y'all missed the dog on lunch. So they used to have lunch together. When people go through divorce, it's not just the couple that's affected, the friends, the people that are used to seeing them, people that want to invite them together to events. Everyone, obviously, not primarily, but everybody is like shocked usually, especially a couple that everybody considers couple goals, that they didn't know that they were going through stuff, right? So she was talking about how that they had to miss all those events that they have to have together. And then she asked, like, what about your dating life? Now they asked Mattel about dating life. He was quite honest about that. Say, not much, blah, blah, blah. I told you, Melody is also a coconut head. She would never admit that the dating scene is a cesspool. Right? She wouldn't admit that. She's that girl. But maybe she's just trying to speak positively about it. She's trying to be optimistic about it. So she said coming out of a marriage, then going back into the dating isn't as bad as people try to make it think, right? Make me think. It's just as bad. Okay? But it doesn't mean that you should always take self-preservation if you have to. Okay? It's not worth it. Okay? Self-preservation is first and foremost always. But there's some people that they're fantasizing about leaving their marriage because they think the grass is greener on the other side. We don't want to encourage such people. We want to encourage them to nurture their relationship and work on it if there's still room for it. Okay? They should at least seek professional help, because I don't want them to take what I just said and then stay in a bad situation. They should at least seek professional help to determine how to move forward. But this statement all by itself will encourage bad behavior on all sides, including mine. Okay? You're not exclusive with anyone yet. She said, why is everybody interested in knowing if I'm exclusive? That means she's not exclusive with anyone yet. Or she doesn't feel safe yet to announce that to the public. Okay, that's what that means. So we're going to stop that cap right there.
Stop the cap.
When you're ready and you feel that safe, yeah, you can't wait to tell everybody. Okay, but that could also be a function of the environment in general. Maybe you don't feel safe about the environment, people knowing your business. It could be as well, but I'm willing to bet it's just nobody. It's not as easy. The grass isn't easy or greener on the other side. But again, it all depends. So y'all be in each other's life ever. It doesn't go away. When she said you will be in each other's life, she said nah. Well, you will be in each other's life, precisely. Unless that person is a crackhead and they're going to potentially hurt the kids or yourself, you will be in each other's life. That's the reality. The same things that you might have run away from in that marriage, you're going to have to do it now. You have to manage that relationship, manage your expectations around that relationship, manage your pride. Okay? No, you don't have to have sex. Okay? But friendship, oh yeah, highly, highly recommended if you can. If it doesn't tamper with your mental health. Okay? So she talked in this scene, when you go watch it, she talked about everything that led to everything. She continued to talk about, and then eventually she became teary-eyed again, because it's easy for everybody to believe Mattel when he's talking sulky-eyed, and everybody's trying to empathize with him. It's easy to forget what she went through. Okay, and then they decided to show some scenes from what she went through. I'm going there right now. This was when she found out that he cheated, and she was actually trying to work on it with him. Okay. And then he also was in the sick bed, drowsy as hell, talking about how he's going to do right by her and stuff like that, making promises. Unfortunately, that it did not keep. These are some of the things, these are some of the backstories that are never told when a person decides to leave a marriage. When a person decides that I deserve 72% of our fortune, forget that you made all the money, our fortune. No one wants to talk about that. That doesn't make you do. Everybody wants to talk about only 3 years. Well, you're measuring emotions in time. Doesn't work. That's not how it works. Okay. And the courts are not going to agree with that either. They will only indirectly use that because they might look at how much money you've made in that time period. But in terms of saying because it's 3 years, it doesn't create an impact or damage, all it takes is a moment to destroy a person emotionally. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to destroy a person emotionally. So stop the cap. All together. This was her crying. When a woman is trying to decide, should I stay, should I leave, should I stay, should I leave? Is the grass greener on the other side? It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's on YouTube. Yeah. But it probably will get slapped eventually. It's on YouTube. When a woman is trying to decide, should I move forward, should I stay? It's not a pragmatic decision where you say, just stay with your family. It's duty and responsibility. That's lame talk. That's lame talk. It's unrealistic expectations at best. Especially if you're not able to say, without me showing you this, you should be able to be like, she probably has gone through a lot. Not just that, he's probably gone through a lot. He has probably gone through a lot. That's not something that anybody can monopolize. It takes a lot for a marriage to get to a place for somebody to be pulling triggers on divorce. Oh no, they just wanted to hurt you at 10 years later. They planned it all along to take everything away from you. No, that's cap. That's not majority of the situation. That's minority. These are the real issues that you and I, potentially the people you know, have to deal with. Okay? When somebody cheated, emotional cheating, which is worse, meaning they can never tell if you actually slept with somebody, is worse. It takes a longer toll, a bigger toll on the mind. Okay? This is why people keep saying mental health, mental health. This was moments. Okay? Well, this was another moment where he was trying to manipulate with pictures. This is how you have to be careful. People say you want to get your ex back, find some old pictures and show it to her. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. There's a good chance that's going to come off as manipulation. Trust me, if you're that good of a guy, especially if you're the good guy, you know how to seduce a woman, she will go and dig those pictures herself. It's better when she dig those pictures herself and she's reminiscing by herself. If she's not doing that, it's just not meant to be. Let it go. Let go. Don't go and be in the pool when you're supposed to be taking running around the kids and showcasing that you're a good father, which can, by the way, translate to be a good husband. You're not showing pictures. Look at all those good times. That's manipulation. He didn't know it was manipulating, but it was effectively manipulating. Just because you didn't know you were manipulating doesn't mean that you're not manipulating. Just because you don't agree that you are manipulating a person doesn't mean it's not going to be received as manipulative, effectively creating the opposite of the result you're looking for. You can't find these conversations anywhere. Everybody else is busy holding people accountable. You can't find this anywhere. Show me where you find it. Maybe one place where I learned it from. There's a good chance you can't find it anywhere. Share this, subscribe, okay? Gentlemen, manipulation behavior, even especially from a place of ignorance, will hurt you. You will lose your family, or you will at least lose the quality of the love you're experiencing in your family. You will end up begging for sex from your wife. You will end up shaming your wife for weaponizing sex. But she's guilty. You're right. That doesn't mean you won't collect what they will do.
You're right.
Yes, Chinye, I think they finalized the divorce. Yeah. Which, to me, if you're playing in the water with 4 of your kids and your ex-wife like this, she's mine. If you know what you're doing, she's mine. But most times they don't know what they're doing. They're trying to hold accountable or remind her of how she gave fellatio when they were in separation, right? They get caught up in their emotions. It's not a crime. It's just most human beings. That's what they do. They engage manipulative behavior effectively. So she was reminding us of all those painful. I mean, the producers reminded of where they're coming from, and I appreciated them showing that because I'm human too. I get lost in the sauce of like, she should forgive a little bit. She should calm down, relax, just relax a little bit, But we tend to forget. So if I say she's coconut head right now, can you see where she's coming from? She's done. It doesn't mean it's not possible they can get back together, but she's done. At least for now, she's done. Most likely for life. Because why? Because he won't listen. He will attempt every chance he gets to hold her accountable because she was wrong too. Right? This is where she was showing some teary-eyed here. Because it's always hurts. It will always hurt. Just like it's hurting and it internalizes it and doesn't show it. It hurts. Divorce hurts. Especially if you have kids. 4 kids with that person. Especially if you can reminisce. If you remember good old times with this person where you guys were laughing. If you stay out of her face, if you back off, she will reminisce. She will reminisce. If you are able to back off, she's a human being. She will remember the good times too. But because you're not sure of yourself, you want to remind her, you want to walk her to the car. Just back off. Let her, if it's meant to be, she's human being. If she's a human being, excuse me. She will reflect back too now. She's a human being. She will look at pictures. She might have buried all the pictures. She will go and find them. One day she will wake up and she will cry and she will be digging up those squares and she will cry. And then she might have a little bit of a softer heart and she might want to. And then you might be concurrently showcasing that you are becoming a better person. You're showcasing. It shows in your behavior, not your mouth. You're not a good person if you have to say you're a good person. You're clearly not good enough, at least. Not for her, at least. Right? Just back off. Anyway, this one's ended up doing a fist fight. They went to the gym together with her cousin to talk it out. there's a very important part here that I feel like we should talk about, right? So the story here is that this person, the person in black, is the cousin to, again, what's her name? So can somebody, what's Marcel's? Let me find it myself. Marcel's wife, Marcel and Letitia. Okay, Letitia. Letitia is the one in the blue pants. She like most people lack emotional intelligence. Like most people, it's not a crime to lack emotional intelligence. We all must remain students of emotional intelligence. It's a moving target. You just have to stay humble, okay, and pay attention. Listen a lot more than you talk, okay. That's the cousin. The cousin ended up on the side of on the other side, basically mingling with what she considered as enemy, and they're actually cousins. They're family. So it created a friction between them. So this scene, when you do end up watching the scene, you will see that she's actively trying to hold her accountable, right? And she's saying that I feel bad that we ended up in that space, but she's obsessed with holding her accountable. She needs her to take 100% accountability, and if she can't take 100% accountability, she can't move forward. That's bad behavior. Okay, that's pride. That's one of the best ways that pride can camouflage. After all, you're holding people accountable because they're wrong. If wrong is wrong, right? But you're not able to read that this is your cousin. You're not even able to detect remorse when it's right there in your face because you're obsessed with accountability. So she needed her to say, I was wrong. And the issue with this is that if you end up with another coconut head like you will end up in a gridlock. And it's not just them that will miss out. Both of you will miss out on that relationship. The relationship is much more valuable to you than your obsession to be right. Keep that at the back of your mind, always. It's okay to want to hold other people accountable, but you need to be able to read between the lines. You need to also say, all right, I get it. I forgive, I hug you, right? If they have to spell it out, the apology has to be accurate the way you read it in the textbook. That's also lame behavior. You have to be careful with that. It could just be pride, okay? Some people, you forgive them ahead of them actually saying, you know what, I still feel terrible. I just want to apologize, right? That's all I'm saying, okay? That was that scene. So go watch it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And then let's come back. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep talking about it. Speaking of accountability, today is a long one because I needed to do a long one because tomorrow I won't be able to be on this long thing. Okay. But I think I have one more to cover and then we can go to bed. And I started late too, so we're only 3 hours in. Only is a long time. All right, I'll be right back.